What's going on, everybody? My name is Tango. Today I want to explain to Alex about the koi fish. Here's a koi fish drawing that I did recently, and I kind of want to just break down what to look out for when drawing it and how to keep it proportioned by understanding the koi fish more. And basically I'm just gonna break this fish down for him to see how I would create a new koi fish and explain everything. And then also, since he doesn't know how to draw, I'm also going to be teaching him how to pull references online and just recreating it into Alex style. You know what I mean? Because everyone, as you draw, you develop your own style. You know, you might like less aggressive eyes. You know what I mean? Some people like aggressive features on the koi. And sometimes some people just want it very subtle. It depends on what you want to do, but right now 50 to 60% of my pieces that I do are like koi fishes. And a story about a koi fish too is it swims upstream, it turns to a dragon. So just to make it, you know, we can probably do that breakdown in a video of how the koi fish story, but it swims upstream, it makes its journey upstream, and it turns to a dragon. So that's why sometimes you see a lot of sleeve, the koi fish being at the bottom, and then you see a dragon on top. And it's like the journey, and people like that story.
That was my first tattoo.
Oh yeah, koi fish?
My first tattoo, koi fish and a dragon.
Yeah.
So yeah, I always see koi fish in Irizumi work. So this is definitely important to get down.
I usually start off with a football shape, and that's how I form the body. You know, they're nice football shape, healthy koi. And so I'm gonna show you the football shape. And after the football shape, I would add in a tail. So I'll start from this angle and I'll drag out. And then from here, I'll form the tail. You see the body, and now the tail comes out, and then you can put the tail fin. So you notice how everything works together. The body connects to the tail, and it kind of goes straight into the fish. Get it? So it's like one main, it continue on to form the tail. And after you do that, I like to add in the shape of the head. So going back like a quarter of the football, it will create the head, and then now you have to extend it to the nose. See, now you got the little head and the nose of it. And then the next one, I would add the front, front fin. See, you got the shape of the koi fish already. Then I like to add in the rear dorsal fin when I draw koi fish, because, you know, it gives it a little bit, you know, if you imagine the koi fish just body to tail, you know, I mean,
evens it out a little bit.
It evens out. It gives a little flair. I see some people, they draw without it. It's fine. It's really up to you. Where the head start, go back about, like, can't say inches because every time you draw it changes, but just go back. Can't explain it, but yeah.
Over time,
yep,
you'll get the idea.
See, this is the top part of the fin, right? But as the tail swings this way, it's gonna have to go on the upper arm, the upper of the back. See? See how it comes out?
Yeah.
And so far, see, you kind of see the form of the fish. Once you get this structure, you wanna, if you're on paper, get another layer of it, but I'm on the iPad, so I just go to the opacity, dim it all the way down where you can barely see it, then start going over the lines that you want to keep. You know what I mean? Because this is a sketch. Now you're trying to create the stencil. Look at that. You kind of see that it's forming.
Yeah, it's starting to form.
Eyes becomes like a style, you know what I mean? You can place it higher, a little lower. Sometimes I do it like towards the middle, like low on the lower side, and sometimes I do the eyes towards the bottom. and it just changes the angle and everything up. But let's just go right here for today. And then I like to do the eyebrows in the koi so it makes it easier to shade. Now you do 2 whisker over here, then that means you can do 1 whisker right here. Pretty much, you know, you're gonna need on both sides. And the other whisker, you can probably just add another one and send it back. Pretty much every time I draw a koi fish, it always ends up being different because you're really just drawing it, you know what I mean? It changes as you draw. I like to add a little couple features on the front of it. This would be the center. And how you know it's to keep the fish straight, look at this. This is the middle of the head, right? That's why I did that dent. That's where the middle. And look at this middle. It goes to this. And that's the middle of the fish. Get it?
Yeah.
And it follows all the way to being over here. So sometimes this, you know what I mean? The fish would have been, this is the middle of the fish. But, you know, the top spine stays on top. I'm going to do another layer. So I'm just adding in things I want to now work on the head a little bit. So far, the body's looking good. It's ready to go. When you're doing this style, like in the Irizumi side, you're going to be, a lot of people's going to ask you for koi fish. And I feel like the body is only so much, you know, sometimes you only use half of the body and you can change, the tail can go this way and that way, but the head, you know what I mean? You want your head to be in your style and you kind of have to always change your head. Turned out pretty cool, the second layer, right? Just making some little changes. I had done lots of koi fishes already, so like once I draw, I kind of know where to put things, just because over time you just get better at things. And then when you're new drawing, yes, I'm probably gonna, with this drawing, maybe it only took me 3-4 layers, but when you're new, you know,
You'll need more layers.
you're gonna need a lot of layers,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna still have to come back and correct you. Look at that.
Yeah.
So that's how I draw for my clients. Once I tat them, I put in the full detail, the scales and everything. So this is what I show them, like, hey, this is how it looks. I don't want to just draw the scales on here, because once you stencil the koi fish on their body and you stencil with the scale starts warping in a weird way. If you follow the scales on their arm, it does not look good. So when it comes to the fins, if you open a fan, it fans out from small to big. And that's the similar concept of the starting of where these lines kind of come out. See that?
Nice.
Pretty cool, huh? Same thing for this. All right, now that's done, we got to put in the scales. Just imagine there's a line, or you can draw in a marker line. That's the middle.
Okay.
So if you're knowing that's the middle, you can add a scale here and a scale right here. Now making a real scale, the middle scale right there. See that? And then this, you can continue on to this. But from how to form scale is, once you get the scale, the middle part, you go from the middle, and from this middle to this middle. And from this middle, it's the beginning, so then you kind of just have to just guess, you know what I mean, where it ends. See how the koi fish is kind of aiming down, like kind of like curving down? Well, you're gonna have to follow the curvature of the fish too. So drawing scales on a koi fish is pretty simple because the koi fish is pretty straight, not a lot of bends. Drawing scales on a dragon, it twists down, it bends. That is gonna kill you. That's gonna make you run home and cry. You see how it's bending up? If it's bending towards this way, if you made your scale big, then it won't look good. You have to make it a little bit smaller than, not passing this one. Get it? It's smaller. It's lower in height, so this one goes up a little higher. So now you can get this to curve that way.
I see.
Get it? And now this one can't pass that one. that's how I created koi fish. Since the last video, we did it with a koi fish and lotus. And let's just recreate this to a piece now. How about I turn this, I just created the koi fish stencil, and now I want to create a half sleeve, right? And I want to add lotus to it. So you kind of get the breakdown. So imagine now there is a half sleeve. Boom. Now that the half sleeve is drawn, would I put a koi fish just shooting straight up in the sky, like just straight up?
No.
I don't like to do that. I have done it. It looks cool, but I think a little bit angle of the koi fish head kind of off to the angle is better too, because I can create water waves to flow with the koi fish. Because if a koi fish is shooting up, your water shooting out, one's shooting up, one's shooting out. The flow doesn't go too well together. Just have it a little tilt. Now give it a little angle tilt. Also, when you tilt it a little bit, the tail moves to one side, giving you space to add water waves right here, or a big size lotus. So one thing about when you do a koi fish, and then the koi fish is the main piece, the lotus is just considered a filler. It fills areas that are empty. You know what I mean? So it fills areas empty. So now this is the piece, and like I can add water and stuff like that, but I usually like a piece that size, I like to put the lotus in the gap. If the client wanted one lotus, then that's fine. You could just add one lotus, and then now you do all background. If you have one here, I do kind of want to add one more up here, because it kind of like, it balance out better staggered. So let's go and use another. And once again, you're just kind of like laying it all out. And then now that you have your two fillers in, let's now decide where you want your waves and your background. So I would probably put a wave right here for sure. That's the start of the wave, you know. Then I'll put a wave right here. I'll even extend it into the fish. Look at it. You okay with everything? If you're okay with everything, we're gonna lower the opacity and draw it as a whole piece. Because now you know that you shape this to the arm. When the client come, all you need to do is just bam, slap it on them. The stencil sticks on them, you're ready to tattoo. So when you first start, I want you to draw everything on paper, have the stencil ready, and you know, get you to tattoo and learn everything. But over time, I want you to be able to just client come, have the stencil in different areas, and then you assemble it on their arm. Because you go with their arm structure. So you know, you're kind of tailoring the tattoo to them. That's pretty much it. And I'm gonna guide you. I'm gonna help you form everything. But over time, it's like, if you just place the koi fish and you placing flowers and understanding how background work, you can do this a million times in a million different ways, a variation, which is cool. You know what I mean?
Got you.
And I would like you to do it differently every time. You know what I mean? You don't want to have the same pose every time, same flow, same everything. It doesn't make you unique no more. Right now, if I post it up, or like say tomorrow my client wanted koi fish, this is ready to go. Slap it on where they want and ready to go. If you guys watched to the end, thank you for watching. Please give us a thumbs up, subscribe. It would help support us to do more videos.
Yep. And make sure you follow Tango on his Instagram if you guys want to check out his work. And you might see this piece on someone.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
All right, guys. We'll see you for the next video. We're out. Peace.